We're back then today with another developer stream recap for Last Epoch, where we take the developer Q&A streams that are generally round about 2 hours long, and we get all the important information for them and we condense them into hopefully a 10 to 15 minute video. So today in this video, some of the topics that will be covered, they are mid-cycle buffs, an engine upgrade, additional dungeons, new playable class, word changes, set changes, new cosmetics, and even minion skins. And there is a lot more as well, but that's just some information to get you interested in this. Now, just very quickly, the gameplay that's actually in the background is for a tri-element shaman build I've been playing in the last few days. It is at 300 corruption, and it's actually doing really pretty nice for a shaman. If you want to see a full endgame build and leveling build for this setup, then do let me know in the comments below. Let's go in now and let's see all the interesting stuff that was covered in the latest stream.
Alright, next question. Will it be possible to copy online characters to offline in the future? Maybe. I don't want to close the door on something like that hard. It is something that we very intentionally do not have in the game. We could put it in the game if we really tried. It's not quite as simple as it might appear. I know like the obvious thing is we'll just move the character save. The character saves are actually formatted differently for online and offline, so it's not just a simple matter of slap it over. But it's not that terrible to do. Like, we could write a conversion script and all sort of stuff. Like, it is possible. So I don't want to like make it seem like it's something insurmountable task, but it is something that we intentionally don't do from a design perspective. Is it possible to add font size option? I play sometimes on the laptop, but it's really hard to read item tooltips. Thanks, seems good. The that's an emote. It is tricky to do. That's a weird, with how our UI is set up, that's a weirdly tricky thing to do. I think something that would happen first would be a more universal UI scaling system. And because I feel like that sort of thing will be done with the interest of like couch play more interested. So like I know a lot of people have like computers set up in living rooms on the big TV already, that sort of stuff, and you're sitting, you know, 20 feet back, 10 feet back, that sort of thing. And it's really, the UI is really tricky in that situation right now, which is the primary console situation. We don't have any immediate plans for that yet, but I can see that being a related task. What was ESG's stance on buffing classes specs that are underperforming during a cycle? Didn't mention it. For example, Shaman and Forge Guard are supposed to remain underwhelming for the entire season, or if it's possible, get those some tweaks mid-cycle. So the last 2 communications did mention this. The most recent one didn't, I believe. Not specifically Shaman or Forge Guard, but addressing buffing things. So we've never. I know it's sometimes it's hard to pull out the inverse of the things we say sometimes, and decide if that's accurate or worthwhile, or, you know, like, useful information. I know we did very carefully say that buffing is not affected by any of these statements that we've been making. These are all very specifically about nerfing. So nothing we've said in the last little while has been nothing we've said in the last little while regarding nerfing. So like we said, we weren't going to do bug fixes that were going to cause nerfs. We're not going to do balance changes that are going to affect nerfs. That's what we said originally. In that statement, we said this doesn't affect buffs. And then in the survey that we sent out, we're like, this doesn't affect buffs. And so there's like, we're still gonna buff things is where I'm getting at. We're not worried that people are gonna be angry that we took a really severely underperforming skill and give it a little juice mid cycle or something like that to just bring it back to a playable state or something like that. As for specific examples with, I guess I should say as well, this doesn't guarantee that any specific thing will get a buff either, but it's just that we're not restricting ourselves to not buffing things. I hope that makes sense. With regards to those specific 2 things, I don't have any information on potential upcoming buffs. I'm sorry. Is there anything in the pipeline for DPS testing, or otherwise getting a damage report from target dummies, for example? No. It's really hard to tell how much damage I'm actually doing, and it doesn't feel like tooltips give an accurate picture. They do not, unfortunately. We don't have any intention for very accurate DPS testing. The tooltip DPS, the primary desire for that is to give an approximate relative increase for items and things like that. So you can tell, hey, if I equip this sword, do numbers go up? But not have that be, oh, I even consider dashing. I'm like, I'll get outside that circle in time. It's more about having the we're not trying. The goal is not to provide. How do I say this? We're not intentionally making a system where you can very accurately compare DPS. Any plans on adding any form of upscaling, DLSS or FSR? Yes. However, it requires an engine upgrade first, which we are working on. It's not going super quick, which is expected and intentional. We are taking our time with that and making sure it is rock solid. But yes, it's gonna be a while. Character model modifiers when? It's gonna be a while. It's not been touched on at all. That's a long way out thing. Any plans for additional dungeons? Yes, we are looking at additional dungeons. There will not be. I can tell you this for certain. There will not be any additional dungeons in 1.1. I don't know of any specific additional dungeons that are in the works or anything like that, but additional dungeons are something we will be planning on doing. Is there any thought on re-rolling values on uniques? Maybe something like a 3-1 recipe, combine 3 of the same unique, get a new one with new rolls. Yeah, we've talked about things like this, and rewind 45 minutes to my answer about things about uses for unique items with regards to the specific suggestion. I can't remember why we didn't have the rune. We had the reroll rune, reroll them. There was a reason. I can see these things being like part of some sort of like dungeon reward. Like I don't know. Like you put in 3 of the unique and you get it, like helps reroll it, and you put in like a 4th one, and it like has a chance to get LP or something like that. Something like that maybe. As far as I know, it is not possible to see damage scaling for minions. Yes, that is true. Why is there no tooltip similar to spells? Is there a plan to implement this for minion abilities? Yes. The short answer is we've been unable to do it properly yet. It is like as inaccurate as you think the ones are now. They're wildly more inaccurate. So you know we're I think it's come down to there's other things that are more important than it right now still. But if we find a good way to do it, yeah, sure. Hello, hi. If you had to add another type of playable class to the game, what would it be? I assume that's what that means. Is there any plan to do it? I'm not gonna say because I think I know what the next class is gonna be. But yes. Do you have plans to extend character sheet? Yes. So reflect stats of equipped skills, for example, skill R&B slot. Yeah. Yes, we are working on improvements here. I've got a PR in the pipeline that will fix the I have the node. This node, the block chance to glancing blow conversion, blade dancer, dodge to glancing blow conversion. There's another one, and the boots as well, the foot of the mountain. Those conversions don't show up in the character sheet. So yeah, like we are working on improving the character sheet. We're working on expanding the character sheet. So it'll have like, you know, we actually have the UI already built for it, but it's not functional yet. For like skill specific stuff, so you'd be like fireball, and it has, you know, like fireball is getting this much increase from the not from these things, but fire is getting this much increased fire damage. It's getting this much increased spell damage. It's getting this much increased crit chance. You know, it's all these things. All right, when's the next campaign chapters coming? Honestly, the game has the best campaign structure in any RPG thus far. Oh, thank you. Not 1.1. but they are in active development. When do you expect to release the API to the public? I'm not sure. I'm a little surprised we haven't yet. So as far as I know, it's going really well. There might be some problem I'm unaware of, but I would say there's a good chance it's on someone's radar at least. I'm just kidding. Will we get leaderboards for high corruption / echo farming at some point? I would really like to see the builds that are killing high corruption and learn from them. I think there's a good chance we will see something along those lines. I do not know the specifics of it at the moment. What are the plans, if any, to address the issue of Ward being overpowered? Do you think the team has identified the source of the imbalance? I don't think that this is one, like, well, there was one that was very problematic, but overall I don't think it's one thing that's causing an issue. And it's going to require some tinkering to get right. And I don't know we'll necessarily get it perfect the first try. And we'll continue to work on it as we go if it's not.
Easy. Too easy.
But I'd say in many cases of high-end farming right now, Ward is very, very, very strong consistently with little effort, which is probably the worst part. Alright, any plans on adding colorblind options to the game? Must be more than me who are colorblind and playing the game. Yes, definitely. There are early efforts to colorblind that have been started. It is... it's definitely a gap in our accessibility options that we need to address. I don't have an ETA for you, I'm sorry. Any chance of PvP ever? Oh, I sure hope so. I'd say there's a good chance eventually of a PvP. It's gonna be a while. It's gonna be a long while. That's a someday feature. Oh, upgrade set items. Yes, yes. Thank you for putting that back. You can see me trying to remember it. Okay, set items. Having some new system to work with them to make them relevant. Yes, we do have plans to make set items relevant. I don't have any specific details on what that's going to be. It's not just going to be slapping LP on them. It's going to be, it's going to feel very different. We want to have, we want to make set items be exciting to have drop, and to start incorporating the set items in some way into your end game builds more than they are now. We don't want set items to take over from the, really like just start monopolizing your gear loadouts. But we do want them to be present. I think in a perfect world, if you were to look at the average character, and I don't necessarily mean like there's always gonna be outliers and exceptions to this. I think if you look at the average character, you'd see a venerable rainbow of gear in the slots. So you'd see like some uniques, some legendaries, some exalteds, maybe a couple rares here and there, some experimental items, some something else items, some something else items, maybe a set item, you know, and like having these this high variety of types of items showing up across your gear, I think is really what we're aiming for. And right now set items are very much left out in the cold. Hey, hello! I was wondering when the next batch of MTX is coming. Would love to see skill effects and such like in PoE. Skill effects are coming. You can see them. Boom! They've got little UI elements there. Skill effects will not be coming next patch. Most major, or the cycle, new MTX content is coming on major cycle releases. Skill MTX will not be coming next patch. Alright, there's something in plans to bring special passives for X allocated points in older masteries like new ones. Yes, these are the threshold nodes. This is a threshold node. So this threshold node, if you're playing in windowed mode and you alt-tab the game with a tooltip up, the tooltip will stay and let you move your cursor around. Haha! Also, it's really good for taking screenshots, which is why this is here. So yes, these extra like 5-point bonus, these are called threshold nodes. And yeah, we're gonna slowly add them in everywhere. We're not planning on doing a like, let's go add threshold nodes to everyone pass. Sorry, I just hit the microphone. All at once type thing, but yeah, we will be adding them everywhere. Are we going to be able to rename rename out minions and reskinning them with new looking skins, armor, or animal. Yeah, so this is going to fall under the skill. I think that's what we're talking about here. These down here. So we'll be able to replace skills with skill cosmetics, and some skills are minion skills, and so they'll have skill cosmetics.